Alright, I wanted to compare the Sig P220 to a 1911. When I had this out a few months ago and shot it, I couldn't help but think it kind of felt like a more modern 1911 because of the similarities, which a lot of people might say, well, what similarities are you talking about? Because they think they're not that similar. Well, they're similar in the fact that they're both full-size 45 ACP. They both hold 8 rounds in the mag, single stack mags. They're both hammer fired, you know, so in that sense they're the same. Really the only difference you got with Sig, other than, you know, the ergonomics being different, is you know, you have the decocker and then you actually have double action fire, whereas 1911 ain't gonna do nothing unless you cock the hammer. So that's the main difference, but they're both big, heavy, honking 45 ACP single stack guns, so that's why I wanted to compare them, because I felt like I was shooting this one pretty good. I wasn't sure if I was doing better than with the 19, but that's what I'm here to find out today. I've always really liked the 1911 platform. I've always been pretty accurate with them and shoot them pretty decently, so that's why when I handled this and shot this, and I felt like I was just about as good, if not maybe a little better. That's why I was so impressed with this gun, and kind of why I'm doing the comparison. So I'm going to put them both through the paces on the steel out here today. I might try to do a little group on paper. Right now I'm going to run these Federal High Shock 185 grain hollow points. I think it's 185, yep. I'm going to run these through both, put them through the paces, see what I think, side by side. Hit that one twice, didn't fall over.
Nosedive?
Yeah.
Smack the mag real hard at the bottom.
It was real steep. It wasn't coming out of that. Maybe I didn't pull it back all the way. One thing I noticed right away is it's a little lighter, but also the recoil impulse is not as strong. Maybe it's because it's lighter, I don't know, but it doesn't seem to like launch back as hard, and it comes back down quicker. but it's a little more wiggly. Even though it comes back faster, when I come back, I'm a little more like wiggly, and that's why I'm missing some of these. When my Ruger back there comes back, it seems more steady. I'm not as wiggly with it, so. Yeah, initially you're like, wow, this is great because it doesn't kick as much, so I can get back on target quicker. But I get back on target quicker, and then I'm taking more time to keep it on target. It's a little more wiggly when it comes back. Check this out. This isn't from us. I thought maybe it was those hollow points for a second, but I can tell by looking at the back of it, that's definitely not a 45 caliber, and it has an N stamped on it. And I dropped it. But that looks kind of cool. Usually they just shatter or splatter or whatever. There's definitely some sort of defense around. So, well, I shoot my 1911 better. I definitely have a lot more trigger time behind a 1911 though. This is fairly new to me. But I would say if you're a little more recoil sensitive, you're probably going to do better with this. The recoil of 45 doesn't bother me at all. So even though the recoil impulse on this is much stronger, it doesn't really affect me getting back on target just as quickly, as you can see from my performance. So I'm still going to go with 1911. But like I said, some shooters might prefer the Sig. Also, like I said, much more experience with this platform. So I maybe with equal experience, you know, I might do just as good, but I'm going to say that I probably still prefer the 1911 because this one's just a little wobbly for me. And again, that could just be my hands, you know, somebody else, and they might have the opposite experience, but for me, that's my analogy. I already know this is pretty accurate as far as under $1,000 1911s go, but I'm gonna, on that center target there, I'm just gonna shoot a group or two with both of them. This is more of a 6 o'clock hold the way it's set currently, and this is a center hold, so I'm gonna use it to the same target, but they should print slightly different groups unless I'm like so horrible they're all over the place. But switch the ball ammo for this. It's just a Winchester 230 grain white box. Woo, I pulled that one a little bit. Alright, so as you can see, they're all pretty center except for that one I flung low right a little bit. So let's see what we can do with the Sig now. Alright then, well that might explain something. So that one I pulled, but the Sig was grouping all here. I grouped just as well with the Sig as I did the Ruger, so maybe you guys see better in the video, but I'm going to say most of those I must have missed off to the left then, so that would be the real issue, is these sights need adjusted a little bit, because at least for me it's a little bit off to the left, whereas my Ruger was dead center. Also, I thought this was a 6 o'clock hold, but it's dead center. So they both seem to tight group just about as tight. And my Sig's off to the left there, so that probably explains a lot of those misses. So armed with that knowledge, if this thing was actually zeroed, I probably would have done just as good with this. So with that newfound knowledge, like I said, Had I known I was off to the left there, I could have compensated or just adjust my sights and get it perfectly zeroed, and I'm sure I would have ran it just as good. So yeah, like I said, I really like both of them. So knowing now that I would have shot both just as good, I'm still partial to 1911 design, but this does have less recoil. Both hold the same, both hammer fired, what have you, but I like them both just about as much, and they both shoot just about as good. But yeah, it's hard if you're trying to decide. So glad I have both. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell, click all if you want to be notified when I post. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.